welcome to another awesome video with you on screen friend Zahar Panda. Ну чё, здрасте. As you may know, a lot of Russians watch movies. Surprised? What I meant is that Russians watch foreign movies. Like Hollywood movies are foreign to Russians, so they have to be dubbed. So the actors' lips are moving as they speak in English. But you hear Russians, like right now, because I'm speaking Russian. And once you start paying attention to it, it's like very hard to unsee it. But usually you're more focused on the scene that's happening at the moment and what the actors do and what emotions they feel and what's the plot is going to be. So you don't really pay attention to that. A lot of things, like titles of the movies and TV shows, were translated very differently. So here you go, very weird and poorly translated movie titles. Fair game became Игра без правил, which is absolute opposite of this, as in game with no rules, as in like unfair game. Hotel Transylvania became Монстры на каникулах, aka Monsters on Vacation. The Fast and the Furious was a kind of big deal translation to me because in Russian it's Форсаж. So I was trying to explain the name of the movie using the word Форсаж because, you know, that's a kind of weird word because I didn't even know what it was up until I googled it for this video, which means afterburner in the car world. And I thought this word was just, you know, it was the same word as in English and they just took it and, you know, made it up like this. But no! The movie called The Fast and the Furious. Some like it hot. Which in Russia became В джазе только девушки. There's only girls in jazz. Hangover became Мальчишник в Вегасе, which kind of makes sense because it translates as bachelor party in Vegas. Public Enemies became Johnny D. I mean, it kind of makes sense, and then thus his being his name, but still, like, weird, huh? Cinderella Man became Knockdown, as in like KO, knockdown. I don't know if that's an English word too. Which doesn't necessarily bring the same feeling as a Cinderella Man. The Water Horse became Мой домашний динозавр, which again doesn't have the ring as well because it translates as my dinosaur at home, my home dinosaur, my house dinosaur. Like, the Water Horse, just a play on words, so freaking smart and amazing. Pet dinosaur, yeah, that's the one. My pet dinosaur. Sweet Home Alabama became Стильная штучка. Wow, so much sass. Which translates to as very stylish thing. Inception. Are we all dreaming? Or in Russia this movie was translated as Начало, aka the beginning. Death Proof became Доказательство Смерти, which is a proof of death. Death proof, proof of death. Completely different things. Completely. Sinister, translated as sinister. And there's no such word as sinister in Russian. We have an actual translation as зловещий, but they decided to just translate it as it is. Why? World War Z, where Z stands for zombies. And in Russian it became Война миров Z. Or Z. But that translation makes it sound like there's two worlds that, you know, fighting with each other. Instead of calling it Мировая война, how we call all world war, like World War I, World War II, Мировая война instead of Война миров, aka the battle of two worlds, or like worlds. The Intouchable, which is a French movie that Americans translate as Intouchable as well, they didn't change anything. But no, you know how Russians translate it is? 1+1. Stephen King's Carrie became telekinesis, aka telekinesis, but you could still call it her Carrie. It's a name. Let me tell you a story about Frozen. I was asking my mom if my sister watched that movie, and I'm trying to figure out how would it call it in Russian, right? So I'm like, Замерзшая, aka little translation of Frozen. And we couldn't understand each other up until the moment I googled it, and I found out that this movie is called Холодное сердце, aka Cold Heart. 47 meters down, which has literally word meters as in not even American measuring system. But you know how Russians translate it as? Sinia besna. A blue abyss. The all-time favorite scary movie, The Ring, became Звонок. It's The Ring, but it's the wrong kind of ring. It's not a ring. That's how they translate it, as in, you know, hello? Because she does kind of call and say that you have 7 days to live. But the movie was coming from The Ring as in, like, you know, the ring as in shape. I just think it's so interesting. Captain America, the first Avenger, became Первый мститель, the first Avenger. Who needs the whole title of Captain America? Who needs to know that this movie is about Captain America? Oh, no. We just need to call it First Avenger. Moving on to the names in the TV shows. The main character of How to Train Your Dragon, Hiccup. His name in English is Hiccup. Hiccup! Can we just talk about that for a second? Which is the noise that you make whenever you have hiccups. You know, hiccup. And I thought in Russia his name was Viking, which I thought it was even more weird because Viking is a Viking. And I thought, why is the Viking's name is Viking? Like, that's kind of weird, you know? But I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but cool. But later on I learned that his name is Iking, which is how would you translate the word hiccup, the noise. Iking. Let me tell you some about Harry Potter. Let's begin with that his name is not Harry Potter. His name is Garry Potter. Garry Potter. Garry Potter. Also, up until I moved here, I never watched it in English. And my mind just went away when I first watched it in English. And I realized that Harry Potter is a British movie. That all the actors are British. My whole life changed that day. Because all my life I watched those movies in Russian, so I had no idea who's Australian, who has a southern accent, who has a British accent, like, no clue. But we're not talking about this right now. Let me tell you about some names of Harry Potter characters, or Garry Potter characters. My whole life her name was Hermione. That's it, her name was Hermione. I come here, her name is Hermione. Hermione, which makes sense when you write it out, but on the sound it kind of sounds very different. Hermione. Hermione. Everybody's favorite fun character and the best glow up out of all of them, Neville Longbottom. In Russian his name was Neville Dolgopoops. 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 Long baby. Neville Dolgopoops. And you know what? I like him better as Neville Dolgopoops because the word Dolgopoops is so stupid and funny compared to Longbottom. Dolgopoops. Next up, something I really started looking into is when I started watching Stranger Things, and then there was a girl named 11, or L for short, 11L. And I was curious, how would Russians go around that issue with the wordplay? So I found that in some translation her name is 11, as in number 11, like literally how it translates, and her short name is Dina. 11. And I found out that Lost Film Translate her name is Audrey. Audrey. At some point, everybody's favorite TV show Lost, which I grew up watching, and to be honest, I was terrified of the Ethan from the first season. I don't know what was about him, but I was terrified of him. I thought he was in my closet, I thought he was under my bed, and he's gonna come and kill me. But in Russia, this TV show was translated as Остаться, живых, or Stay Alive, Stay Alive. How did Lost became Stay Alive? And another fun translation of something that I had complication with explaining to someone is the word BAZINGA. BAZINGA. This word means nothing, absolutely nothing. It's the made up word BAZINGA. I remember I got myself a t-shirt with the word BAZINGA on it, and I scared my mom, and I was like, oh, my mom is gonna check out this joke because they watched the same show as me, The Big Bang Theory. And I was all excited to show my mom my BAZINGA shirt. And I'm like, Mom, do you like my shirt? And she was like, what does it say? What's BAZINGA? Mom, from The Big Bang Theory. BAZINGA? What does Sheldon say? BAZINGA? And my mom was like, do you mean Bugagashinka? They translate BAZINGA, a made-up word, into Bugagashinka. That ain't gonna fit on my t-shirt, Bugagashinka. I hope you laughed, smiled, or, you know, had some any kind of sort of emotion. Hope you're gonna have a wonderful and amazing day, and just remember that you're an awesome potato, and you know what awesome potatoes do?